This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 15th, is a power-hitting first baseman who played for Boston, Anaheim, and the Mets between 1991 and 2003. Three-time All-Star and an AL MVP champion. He was known as the Hit Dog for some strange reason, but anyway. I think we have to move on from the introduction and talk about Mo Vaughn. Move on, whatever. Mo Vaughn is 56 years old. He was born in Connecticut and played for a school in New York State. And then he went to Seton Hall to play college baseball. And hit 28 home runs in one season, which is pretty impressive. In his 3 years at Seton Hall, he had 57 home runs and 218 RBIs. The funny thing was that one of Mo Vaughn's teammates was Craig Biggio, seven-time All-Star and future Hall of Famer, Craig Biggio, who I did a birthday boy on last year. Anyway, he helped Seton Hall win the 1987 Big East Conference and did quite well. So Boston had drafted him and weaned him into the lineup to be their basic first baseman. Boston had problems with first baseman and all that, especially after trading a young Jeff Bagwell, who was in their system, to Houston for the want of one Larry Anderson as a relief pitcher, and Anderson left for San Diego in free agency. So anyway, Mo Vaughn would come through with Boston. By 93, he established himself in the starting lineup with 29 home runs, 101 RBIs. And then in 1995, he was one of the most feared hitters in the American League, putting up 39 home runs, 126 RBIs, and a few stolen bases. But that effort in 95 led him to win the AL MVP. Controversially, of course, because Albert Bell was having a season to remember, becoming one of only a few players to hit 50 home runs and 50 doubles in the same year. I'm surprised Albert Bell didn't win that one. But people said that his problems with the media kind of backed off on votes. The ironic part was that in 96, Vaughn was even better. 326 batting average, 44 home runs, 143 RBIs, and over 200 hits. It looked pretty impressive. He was more impressive in 96, and yet he didn't win the AL MVP. Now, of course, it's a little bit biased for 95 because they actually only played 144 games instead of 162 because of it being strike shortened. But regardless. So Mo Vaughn loved wearing number 42, and he did it in tribute to Jackie Robinson. By April 97, MLB retired that number league-wide. However, they grandfathered players who were 42, like Butch Husky and Mo Rivera, alongside Mo Vaughn, that they could wear for the rest of their playing careers without penalty. Anyway, Mo Vaughn was just a strong hitter for Boston. He had a 3-year period in the late 90s that he would hit average 40 home runs and 118 RBIs, so he knew what he could do. In Game 1 of the ALDS against Cleveland, he had 7 RBIs. Sadly, though, Boston cannot win that series. And he was also known for crowding the plate because his stance was that his front elbow would hover in the strike zone, which intimidated pitchers into throwing outside pitches or to hit his elbow and give him hit by pitches. So anyway, Vaughn had a great personality in charity work and made him a Boston icon. He had many issues with the Red Sox management and all of that. Vaughn was outspoken and said that the conservative Sox administration didn't want him around. He looked pretty good. By 98, although they lost to Cleveland in the playoffs, he was a free agent. And then Anaheim, the Angels gave him a 6-year, $80 million contract. It was huge and all that. So anyway, he had a few good years with the Angels. Unfortunately, though, injuries were his downfall. He didn't even play in the 2001 season because he was injured. So anyway, he was a good middle of the lineup producer still, but injuries would be practically his downfall and why he wasn't as effective. The Angels decided to trade him to the Mets for Kevin Appier in 2001. Anyway, Vaughn was not too happy with being traded away. However, he would be put as a key catalyst in a revamped lineup that saw the Mets pick up Roger Cedeno, Jeremy Burnett, and Robbie Alomar. Vaughn was ridiculed in many sports circles around New York for being out of shape because he weighed 268 pounds. However, he would hit some memorable home runs for the Mets, including a home run July 28, 2002, in which he ripped a massive 500-foot home run at Shea Stadium and actually hit the Shea scoreboard and the Budweiser sign. And Gary Vaughn, who was doing the game for ESPN at the time, or was it for a Mets thing, but he said that it was funny, it looked like beer was pouring down from the advertisement because of the ripple on the scoreboard. He would have 26 home runs and 72 RBIs when he was good. Unfortunately, knee problems would cost him in 2003, and he was unlikely to play past 2003, so he retired. So in 12 seasons, he played over 1,500 games. When he was healthy, he was good. He would have 861 runs, 328 home runs, 1,064 RBI. So anyway, he looked pretty good. So anyway, Vaughn had a few problems outside baseball and all that. Yeah. Vaughn tried his best to be part of the Baseball Hall of Fame, but in 2009 he was off the ballot because he didn't hit the 5% necessary to stay on the ballot. It was revealed in the Mitchell report that Vaughn had purchased steroids and had the drugs delivered to him personally. The checks were about $3,000 and all that for 2 kits of HGH, human growth hormone. And Vaughn's trainer did instruct him to take HGH to recover from injury. But Mo Vaughn was going to meet with Senator Mitchell, but never did. So that raises suspicion about his 1995 season. But then again, the whole thing was because of the 2001 season, so with the checks and all that. So you can't really blame the 95 with a tainted 95 AL MVP, because that's not what happened. But anyway, Mo Vaughn was just proving himself pretty good in the Boston circles, and when he was healthy, he was powerful. When he wasn't, he was just off people's minds. And I guess I better move on to the next sports catastrophe, pun intended. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.